Speaking off junction, take a seat, grab a brew, because this might be a long one. So, welcome back. I think it's been quite a few months since my last update. A few things have happened, as you can see in the background and behind me. The layout currently as it stands is in the process of being redesigned. I've already got plans of the track work for the new layout, with thanks to James DMU. We've come up with a solution that fits both letting the trains run as well as me operating it as in terms of an actual real railway with freight holding signals and other bits and bobs that he's said, and trying to wrap my head around it. But yeah, so as you can see behind me, the station track is no longer. I think on the last update, or just after the last update, I was on the verge of doing platforms. Got the templates on paper, put them to the 18mm MDF boards that they were going to be, and then came June, my birthday. I had a few locos, not one loco, some rolling stock, and since then the layout was on a bit of a unusable state. Certain bits, I can't remember if you remember, but up to about here there was a point which left off into a head shunt. The new loco that I got, as soon as it got to that point, it would stop. It was the only loco that started doing it when I got it. Wasn't sure whether because it was a new loco, because it was DCC fitted, it was struggling with the wiring and whatnot, so I added in 2 more sets of droppers to try and resolve the situation, but it still persists. And then the corner bit where the canal is, it had also stopped dead there, and as I said, that was the only loco that started to do it when I got it. It did run a few laps of the track when I did get it, and then obviously when I hooked it up to the container wagons that I also got for my birthday, that's when the issues started arising. Also, the container flat wagons started derailing. Didn't, for some reason, they didn't like going over the points. Certain point on the far corner there started derailing, throwing itself off. So yeah, all fun and games. As you can see in the background, I've already made a start. I did that a few weeks ago. This is the first time that I've been up in the loft in about a month or two. So I've already started packing down rolling stock to try and clear the boards. It is in a bit of a mess at the minute, which, yeah, there's not much of a reason behind that apart from me packing everything up. So what we will do is I'll take you off the tripod, spin you around, and we'll go into a bit more of depth of what my intentions are for the layout as it stands. The boards will be getting dropped as I'm struggling. Obviously, the height that it is at the minute, I'm struggling to get over the back bit, especially in that far corner there where things I wanted to do I couldn't reach all the boards is down here. I didn't really want to be taking the board on and off all the time, every time I wanted to do something with it. So the boards are going to get dropped to a level that's already levelish. Well, they're the level that's a lot lower than what it is now. So yeah, we'll be back in a sec, guys. So first off, we'll go through the new locos. The rolling stock are on the other side. I'll show you one that's boxed, which is there. So the first loco that I got for my birthday that I had to wait, I think, over a month for, was the DB Class 66 66065 weathered from TMC, obviously DCC fitted. Beautiful loco. I was undecisive of whether to get another EWS branded loco or an actual red DB Schenker 66. Talking with Chris Bauer from West Hill Wagon Works, he said go with this one. So I think, working in Manchester, this loco regularly goes past on a daily basis with the container wagons. I think recently we've had the Freightliner and a few other ones off the top of my head. I can't remember what class they are, but yeah. So this was the loco that was giving me a headache and a bit of an irritation of why it wouldn't work. But yeah, so blame this loco for the new revamp. So the second loco that I bought, I think it's about a month ago or so, was this one. I know I've said just said about having another EWS loco, but 56. This is quite a good looking loco. It's super detailed. I won't get it out. It's got all bits and bobs. It runs very smoothly. So that will be it won't be mainly stationed in a TMD section that I'll have, but it'll be doing some sort of pulling or whatever on the layout. And the next one, which I bought just recently, is, I'll try not to drop this, hopefully it gets in shot, is this 57 Virgin, and it's the Thunderbirds Scott Tracy. I've been after one of these for a while, so the plan is for this to haul a failed Pendolino service. How I'm going to go about that, I think I might use the new Hunt couplings and try and modify, if I can grab one without damaging it. Now I've seen someone do this, but modify so I can cut that plate out, have it up, and then somehow get a fitting into there to pull it, and then obviously, you know, behind that look quite good. So that'll be that project to add with the hopefully network rail coaches that I plan on doing at some point. I don't know when. That was obviously, with me being self-employed, I can't just take a week off, because it'll, well, theoretically costs me money, but I'll lose, you know, wages for whatnot. And the one bit of rolling stock that I received from with thanks to Brian Finnison Central, he won this. I can't remember off the top of my head what competition it was, but yeah, he kindly sent me it. So I've already gone ahead and fitted, you can just see there, the hunt couplings. I bought a pack, and the container flats all have them on it, and I've managed to fit 1, 2, 3, 4.5 of the EWS ballast wagons I have in the same couplings. So I've just got to finish off the rest of them with the same couplings, and then that'll be finished as well. So yeah, thank you very much, Brian, for this. It goes quite nicely with the other ones I've got, although I need to get the other 2 of these ones that Hornby have done, the ones with the 3 fuel tank on it, and I think it's 3 of these all along. So I've got 1, 2, 3, 4 empty flats at the minute, and then obviously when I get the 2 of these other ones from Hornby, they'll add to it, and then I'm planning on making it 14. I think is it at the minute 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. It runs 9 long with this one in, and obviously that's 1, 2, 3, 4 sets of doubles. So yeah, try and get it to about 14, 15, 16 if I possibly can. I know the ones that go past me in Manchester are about, well, can anything region of 18 to about over 20 of these on one load, and obviously for this layout that would be quite long. Well, as soon as it goes out of shot, it'll be coming back into shot again. So as much as I'd like to follow the actual full length of one of these, it's gonna be well, it won't look good unless I've got, you know, a 40 foot odd room and loads of track, whatever. But yeah, so thank you very much for that, Brian. So as you can see, this is where the town scene was going, or was previous. There was a board that went along here, as you can see, where that pen line went. So the idea of now was, obviously all these were tight corners. I think it was 4th and a 3rd, 4th and a 3rd, 3rd. Oh, I think I was trying to get a 2nd in there, but yeah, it was 4th double into a bit of a curved flexi track and all the rest of it, and they just didn't. It worked. It just instead of hiding it, I've now gone for where the actual corners will be, the platforms will be on the curve, so it gives me longer Scenic the other way. So I've roughly laid out, it's not where the track's actually going to go, but it's more or less just trying to see how it's going to look. But the other idea is, if I can spin you around, so currently on this board here, I've managed to find, I went to York a few weekends ago for a weekend away with the missus, and the model shop in York I'm very grateful for, as the 2 double slips, they were the only 2 he had left in stock, so I was very, very, very grateful that he had them. So now they're in as it, that's more or less how it will be. I'm not 100% sure of whether it'll be right at the back, or I might bring it more in the middle, as they're going to be my 4 main running lines, and then I've just put these retaining walls as a representation of how it might look if I use them, but I won't be using them. They'll be dotted other places around the layout. What I am envisioning, I have the foam board which is down there, which I will make my own arches, more or less, and they will go along there, and then the 2 branch lines will sit roughly just a little, probably up to about there, or just underneath them arches, or yeah, ish. Two branch lines running along, and then also, if wherever I do it, there will be a lot of construction sites along the back, some high-rise apartments that have already been built and some under development. The site that I'm on in Manchester, I've got perfect view of, I'm presuming, well, the Colnbrook tram station, and then the scrapyard that sits behind it, the actual canal, which I think goes up north somewhere. Then there is the shipping canal with a bit of wasteland between the normal canal and the shipping canal, and then up behind the shipping canal there's a big massive site that's under construction, which I will put a picture in now so you can see my plan on what I want to do. So from that picture, I will try my best to model that, with the steel beams, girders, and all the rest of it. But it'll sit lower down, so it's going to take up, I think, a portion from that line there to this line here along the back. Obviously, it'll be sat down. Obviously, I've looked at the cranes. There's James DMU pointed to me of a site that does these crane kits. I don't know if it comes, if you have to build them yourself or whatnot, but I'm looking into that. So that'll be that one. Obviously, through Oxford Diecast, I've got to get all the ground vehicles, the JCBs, the diggers, the dump trucks, and all the rest of it. I'm not sure if Oxford Diecast do the JCB dump trucks. If not, I'm sure there'll be another place that does them. So yeah, there will be quite a few construction sites along this part of the area. Obviously, with the station being this side, they won't start straight away. So from about here, they'll go down towards the station area. It'll be, a few houses. I might do them low relief. I've got a few down there that are fully full ones, so I'll put them in and around. And then this front bit here, I might do the same, or I might just put it as wasteland and everything else. So as it will go, bear with me guys, trying to not make you all dizzy. As it goes around, the 4 tracks will all go round, and then from this section, now obviously I've said I'm going to be lowering the boards, so if I can just, sorry guys, just trying to lower you slightly, so you can see just about that batten that we put originally on the wall, that is where the boards will be sitting on. So that the end of that board, the other side of it, as it's not got a batten on it, that will sit directly on there, and it roughly works out to where this bit is here. That's how far it'll drop. So I think it's, off the top of my head, it's quite a bit of a distance. So obviously these boards here, if you can imagine, I think they come up to about here or so. They'll be dropped lower, so it gives me ample room, and especially with what I want to do along the back there, I've got, you know, I can reach over. Obviously they'll be placed, I'll build them on either a board or a foam board. There's yellow stuff with silver, I can't remember what the actual name of it is, but I build it on that, and then I can just slot it in, which for this side it will mostly be of that. So as I've said, the tracks will go around. I will post a video, a picture of what the new track plan is, just to show you of what the new layout or the new track plan will look like, which I'll post that now. So as you can see from the picture, I'm hoping to, once these 4 tracks here go around, the inner 2 will go straight into the fiddle yard, which will be along here, and then the back 2 will basically follow the outer part of the boards. This part that I've done, it will stay. It will be more along the back, so that gives me, the fiddle yard will be this front bit here. Along the back there, I have got, I'll put a small piece of ply, 1mm ply, and put some form of back seam on it, and it'll go along the full length of the back there. Now obviously with these boards getting dropped, it will give me, or the plan is, to take you down. 2 seconds, I'll have to take you off the tripod. So with dropping the boards, obviously they'll sit on the top there, which gives me they'll stick out more. So what I will be able to do is actually put in a board on this section, which will allow me to have a bit more of a fiddle yard, more of a storage yard, to kind of rearrange some of the trains. So the boards that stick out, this part from this section here, that will obviously go back a bit more from there to this front part of the boards will be a fiddle yard, where the actual trains, it will be more of a storage yard, so the trains will stay as they are, whereas the ones I'll put along the back there will actually be more of me changing the locos around. So there'll only be, I think I'm only planning on doing 4 tracks, which, saying that, might house or might hold a few more locos. So it'll go this, where that board is now sat, that will be the new height of the layout, which, you know, is quite, as you can see, is quite a drop, but it gives me, although it would be low, it's lower down, which to be honest is not really, I should have really gone for it when I first thought about it, but the whole idea of how it was now was so I could get stuff underneath and all the rest of it. But looking at it now, even if I drop the boards to there, I can still get underneath and access all the storage. But obviously all this will go eventually when I manage to do it. The country scene part will stay. So once it's gone from about middle of there, it'll stay with the country theme. Same, I think, to that corner is where I'll cut it off, and then that'll be whatever I try and blend in with all that bit. So yeah, as I said, it is in a bit of a mess at the minute, which, yeah, it's dismantled and all the rest of it. But as I said, when I was a few months ago on the last update, I was waiting for points and stuff for the fiddle yard. This was the progress of the fiddle yard. As it stood from that point there, just by there when my finger is, from there I think up to that coach there, or possibly just the end of that piece of track, I could fit a 8 car HST. So obviously the old ones, I will be respraying them into my own livery for the layout. But 8 car lengths is, I think that's about 2.5, 3 foot long. So when I drop the boards down, and obviously this goes along the back and then comes round, it'll be more, I'll be able to house longer trains in this front space. So as I said, the two tracks will follow the outside, the two inner main lines, and the 2 branch lines will come in. They'll all filter in. So the two main lines coming off the other end will more or less follow ish this bit here, and then the 2 branch lines along here, they will filter in to the main lines there, and then the branch lines will filter in here. But then it'll all be, the plan is to have all tracks able to serve both branch and the main lines for running. One thing, obviously, I said about it looking more like a real railway. I managed to get another double slip, which will go more or less somewhere about here, give or take, which this will serve, it'll come off the branch line, and it'll swing round and come on, so it'll allow me to put in freight that's moved from a depot somewhere along the line. It's come down, a branch line or a lower line, to then be able to go up further up north. And then this is where I said, this is James's thinking, I've got to remember this rightly now. So there'd be a signal here where the local comes in, stops, obviously the main running traffic, whatever, goes back and forth. Then obviously it'll go green, the local will go through, and then on to whichever track it goes onto, the up or down. I will be putting this part into 3 tracks, but the third will just be for a passing loop, so that if the hot train holding there can come through, just for a bit of scenic camera operation. So when I'm doing running sessions, you can see it stop and then go through to the next signal, because obviously in real railways there's only certain miles that a train can go. For instance, freight trains can only go certain distance before the I can't get my words out now. A passenger service obviously needs to take priority, so the freight train would go across the point, which allows the one passenger service to go through. It'd obviously need to stop at the next signal to allow the next passing passenger service to go through, and then obviously it'll go round and then come out on one of these other lines. There will be a third. There'll be three. It'll come back into the station or whatever, and then it'll serve whatever it'll come to. It's yet to be worked out. James knows the ins and outs, obviously, with these block detection and all the rest of it. It's quite a lot to try and get your head around. So obviously with the layout wanting to be a bit more operational, instead of just me, like, I'm happy to watch, the idea was to have the trains running so I could get on with doing kits and what have you in the background. But I think taking that aspect, I want to try and get into operating it. So watching the trains and then be like, I want to interrupt and all the rest of it. So I've bought, which you can see there, the NC power cab. The Select will be going, or it won't be for the new layout. So the NCP power cab, that'll be taking over. Obviously I've still got loads of scale model scenery kits, and there's quite a few other kits that I've bought that I've not built. So that is the plan. I know I need to get I'm trying to think off the top of my head. I think this is a left medium, but I need a right medium. I think it's medium. Two right medium electrofrog points, obviously to connect. One for there and one for there. I was thinking about using these diamond crossovers, but I know on the previous layout I had an issue with them where trains for some reason didn't like going over them in whichever direction. So I've been told to check the back-to-back, but I need to get a back-to-back tool. So for now I've gone with the double slips. Yes, you should be saying, or you should be using something like this, but to allow the trains to move between. So I think I'm classing as that as an up, that as a down, that as an up, that as a down. Or whichever. I think it would just be whatever it is. So if I want to get from this track to that track, it's only held up by a piece of wood, I can, but then I can also go from this track to this one on the same with that one. So I'd rather have them there, so I know, instead of trying to in the storage yard take the train up and then swap, I'd rather them there, and plus it looks a little bit more of a junction as it is. So this part of the layout will be kept. Obviously it'll be lower down, so it'll be a little bit more better to look at. Obviously, from there along, it's not really, no, it's not really high enough, I don't think, for, you know, a bridge to go over a canal. So at least if it's lower down, it'll be better to model on how it looks. So yeah, that's, I think I'll leave it here, but that's where I am at. Can't get my bloody words out. One other loco I did get as well at the same time as the EWS 50, can't remember what it was now, 56. I got this Freightliner 57. Craig Mason over at New Dome Junction was contacted by someone he knows or a friend of the family about selling someone's railway stock. So the 56 and the 57, I paid £100. I think they were £50 each. There's a bit of slight, not so much issue with this one, but there's a bit of where the plastic moulding doesn't want to sit up right. It's a bit, it runs okay, it's just a bit, as you can see there's, come down, you push it on, but yeah, it comes off. So at least I've got one Freightliner loco. I might have to get some of the ballast hoppers from Dapol. I think they're re-releasing some. I know Acura Scale are doing some in GBRF livery. I don't know whether I'll get them or not. I have put in the order for the Mark 5s to go behind the 68 TPE. Obviously, for everyone that's put a pre-order in, we've been kept up to date. Obviously, they're a bit behind on where they would like to be, but obviously due to COVID and all the rest of it, I'm sure they'll come out, you know, early next year, middle of next year, the back end of next year, but at least they will be out. Obviously, as I said, when we went to York, me and the missus went to the National Railway Museum. We went to see the HST Class 47 and Sir Kenneth Grange. That was on the turntable. Took a few photos of that. There wasn't really much. I think they had a few new locos that they'd swapped with somewhere else. There wasn't really an awful lot of it open. I think it's just it's the Great Hall, where the turntable is. The far back bit on the other entrance, that was all closed off, unfortunately. But the same old locos that were there the last time I went were still there. Obviously, the Sir Nigel Gresley was under restoration when I was last there. It was kind of a shame that you couldn't walk around the workshop area, but obviously with the social distancing, I can understand, you know, they wouldn't have been able to open it, although it's a one-way system anyway before all this COVID stuff. So yeah, hopefully, you know, they've managed to move on with that bit of progress. So yeah, as I said, we spent 2 hours in York train station, saw a few Azumas, LNER, and the new stock, well, I presume it's new, a few months old or whatever, of the TPE 800s, and to be fair, they are stunning. I would, if Bachmann, Acura Scale, Cavalex, Hornby did a Class 800 in TransPennine Express livery, I would buy 2 of them straight away, no hesitation, rather than the Hornby LNER Azuma, as delivery is just stunning. To be fair, we waited quite a while to try and see one, and I managed to get one just before we were leaving And then obviously I got the Mark 5 coaches with the 68. Seen all day with them, as you'll see at the end of this video, with the Transpennine Express 68. The one I filmed just as it got to where the power loco was, it was in DRS livery. I know I've got a DRS one there, but yeah, I was looking forward to seeing it in the actual full livery as the coaches, but you know, beggars can't be choosers. So yeah, you've seen quite a lot of the Class 800s, mostly in Azuma, the LNER liveries, and a few other locos. There's a Transpennine Express one, I can't remember what class it was, the yellow fronts, the three coaches long, which they doubled up every single service, and a few of the like 158s, Northern Rail, and a few of the Northern Rail stock. So I think we've been going for quite a while now. So yeah, this is where I'm up to. 6 months, I think it's 6 months away from this entire part. It's a shame to have got so far, and then obviously the teething problems I've had. Again, this time around, I'm not going to rush. Well, not that I did rush, but I'm not going to rush what my plan is. I've got it down on paper. Obviously, my first move is to clean it all up, lower the boards down, then work out where, because as I said, from the bit behind the camera where I'm going to extend out this side as well, when they get lowered down, I will be extending out. So I might be able to put just a few, like, it's more of a storage shelf to put all these boxes once they've been unpacked and all the rest of it, as that's what they were designed for. But obviously where that one is, this board will be there, so I'll only have the two. And at the state of them already, like the lower one, it's not far off. Obviously all these old locos, I will be getting them repaired, serviced, and I think I might be selling some of them just to try and fund, or to put a bit of money towards the layout. So we'll swap round and we'll call it a day.
London King's Cross only. This train has 9 coaches. This train has on-board catering available. First class accommodation is at the front of the train. Platform 3 for the 1557 LNER service to London King's Cross. Calling it London King's Cross only. This train has 9 coaches.
Please note that you need to have a reservation to board this service.
That's the Class 91s.
and Fiddle. Cornet, Darlington, Newcastle, Berwick-upon-Tweed, Edinburgh, Haymarket, Inverkeithing, Kirkcaldy, Lucas, Dundee, Arbroath, Montrose, Stokehaven and Aberdeen. This train has 9 coaches. Platform 9 for the 1655 LNER Azuma service to Aberdeen.
Please note that you need to have a reservation to board this service.
Platform 10 for the 1604 Northern service to Leeds. Cornet, Wicklefield, East Garforth, Garforth, Crossgates and Leeds. This train has 2 coaches.
Time is it? Should be leaving now. First class accommodation is at the front of the train. Platform 3 for the 1657 LNER service to London King's Cross.
Please note that you need to have a reservation to board this service.
There you go. Really spotted at the DRS one on the bloody back.
So we're not talking about the hour.